What's poppin', J Squad? Y'all know this, man. It's your boy Jalen the Cut, bro. We're back with you guys on another video. As you guys can tell by the title, this is basically going to wrap up my WrestleMania 37 experience because honestly, this is me. I wanted to wait a few days after I got recuperated and have time to actually do this video. So let's start off with how this whole trip came about. So obviously, guys, just like any other person, when we hear the news about WrestleMania, you want to go. So I was just thinking, like, except the typical, flying into Tampa Bay and just Ubering around, why don't I just drive? So, it's only 11 hours. And if I pick the right time slot, we can get there at a good time frame, and I still have enough time to get rest. So, it's me, my brother, his cousin, and our best friend from childhood. We all decided to go. It was kind of like a bros trip slash WrestleMania trip for me. So obviously I was just like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it, blah, 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 blah. So of course, one of the biggest things about the drive, it wasn't really that bad. Like, I really realized, like, when you drive at midnight and like drive during the night and early in the morning, it's actually a very steady drive. You know what I'm saying? You're not going through a whole bunch of trucks and stuff. And I stayed awake. Thank God for bangs, because honestly, I drunk two of them things for both the night drive up and the drive back where I stay at. So obviously, those are good don'ts to actually have around. So obviously, guys, so the first day we got there, we did have to go by the airport because apparently we did have to make a few stops. You know what I'm saying? And then we finally got to the Airbnb. As soon as we got to the Airbnb, my bros and them, they went out, they did what they wanted to do. I was gonna wait until yesterday, until Friday to actually do it. But I was like, you know what? I'm already wide awake. Might as well do it now before it's all said and done. So if you excuse me for a second, I'm gonna get this thing, the merch that I've gotten for Mania. Now, the first piece of merch that I actually got, and this is like very typical, this like for most fans to get, because if you're the type of person that don't want to spend a lot of money on merchandise, it's actually pretty good. Because I actually got one from 35. I got two cups from 35. So this is the first joint right here, and it's the WrestleMania official program. I think it was like maybe $25. On the site, it said it was 35, but apparently it's 25. And this one actually feels pretty lighter than the 35 one, because obviously in the 35 one, it was just like, I guess it kind of felt like it was rushed, especially, which, we are still in the pandemic, so it wasn't really a lot of memories and stuff that I was able to put on here. But I still like the format of it. You know what I'm saying? Got the little small little program poster on the front, and it just had the W logo on the back. That's the first jump. And because I didn't really buy a lot of merch, which honestly I thank to God I didn't, because honestly I would have been short on money. And this is the WrestleMania souvenir cup. And it just seems very generic. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it seems very generic. It's, what I'm saying, it's not a little hologram. It's just has the logo. It says 2021 Tampa Bay, and that's the only difference between this WrestleMania cup and the other WrestleMania cup. So this one is actually a hologram. It has WWE superstars on it. This one doesn't, but it's still pretty good to have both of them for the one I was supposed to go to and the one I actually went to, and everything else. So that was actually a pretty good thing right there. Now, I really didn't really get into a lot of stuff even in Tampa, mostly because that usually I try to go to Eventbrite to find out what's popping in the area. We didn't go to Ybor, which I was supposed to go to, but we didn't go. We went to the beach. We went to both Clearwater, where the Hogan Beach Shop was, and also St. Pete. And both of those drives, man, I'm just like, it's crazy. Let's just say it's crazy. So no bull, y'all, no bull. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward to the actual event. So the actual event, you know what I'm saying? I think I didn't really do too much, mostly because I slept in, because honestly, when you sleep in, you know what I'm saying, you're real energized, you're ready for night one. So night one was pretty much a success because honestly, well, let me rewind that. Night one, for both manias, was actually pretty good, but the only problem that I had was the rain. And I drove there, and far as parking and stuff, because I did drive my car to the event, because I wasn't going to take no Uber to go to Raymond James Stadium. Then when the event lets out, then it's going to cost twice as much to get back to our stadium. So I was like, no, that is the veto. I might as well drive there and come back. So for both nights, I paid pretty much $80 because it's $40 for parking for both nights. But it's kind of a ripoff, but I understand they got to make their money somehow because you know what I'm saying. We got a lot of people coming in, but I did it a smart way instead of like just paying for parking. As soon as I got there, I downloaded this app called Park Jockey, and I think on the WrestleMania app, if you guys went to WrestleMania, y'all know what I'm talking about. They had this. It was a little app thing that shows you like how to prepare for your WrestleMania experience. What to look out for, everything else, and that was a dope feature. Now, as far as the raining goes, because I was there, uh, for night one, it was actually pretty. It started off good, but then it started raining. It rained like I guess it rained during the show's taping, but it was able to clear out, so WrestleMania was able to keep going through. And there was a lot of slips and falls and stuff, but it was actually pretty funny. I ain't gonna hold you. But one of my favorite match from basically night one was basically the Drew McIntyre and Sasha Banks match. Those are my favorite ones because honestly, you guys, that was who my money was on. Drew McIntyre winning the WWE Championship, as well as Sasha Banks retaining her title because she did have a losing WrestleMania streak. She lost at every WrestleMania she's been at. But I just got it wrong, but I still give props to Bobby Lashley and Bianca Belair. You know what I'm saying? I said congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Because either way, in the Sasha Banks Bianca Belair joint, it's kind of hard to pick who's the fan favorite. And like, I want a Sasha win, I want a Bianca to win. So obviously, you know what I'm saying? It was actually pretty crazy. But yeah. And night one was pretty amazing. Night two, it was kind of like very skeptical, especially with the Randy Orton versus The Fiend match. That actually kind of shocked me more than anything because the whole build up was like Randy Orton burned The Fiend and The Fiend was out for vengeance, which honestly they should have stuck with that and The Fiend should have had his WrestleMania moment. But the shocker was basically Alexa Bliss coming out of the Jack in the Box with some type of oil syringe on her face. I was just like, what the hell? Like, I was like, what the hell is she doing? And then Randy Orton won clean and pinning The Fiend. So obviously, you guys, most people are upset about it. Maybe there's more depth to the storyline. We just gotta watch to understand. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you know what I'm saying, also with the WrestleMania trip, you know what I mean, they also announced the rendition of WWE 2K22. We all know that WWE 2K took a year off. They didn't make one for 2021 because of the bad reviews from 2K20, which honestly I'm glad that they did because honestly, I didn't want to buy another game that had a lot of glitches and stuff. I was able to work with it, but you know what I'm saying, it was just it was pretty bad. But other than that, man, but night two, let's just say most of my predictions were right. You know what I'm saying? I honestly acknowledge Roman Reigns winning the Universal title or retaining it because honestly, Roman Reigns is the man. You know what I'm saying? They, with Brock Lesnar out, and they needed somebody else to fill that quota to help draw seats in. So Roman Reigns was definitely a good pick. Honestly, this little Universal title run that he's having is actually better than his other runs, which actually I think that's pretty good. But, and then, of course, that Monday after Mania, I really didn't do anything too much, mostly because of the fact that I was super exhausted and we was driving back at midnight later on that day. So, obviously, man, it was still a good trip. There could have been some things that I could have done differently, but I just thinking like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it is the first like live event show or big show period that people was able to go to during this pandemic still, or like still the peak of it. But it was still pretty fun. I had a good time. I'm just gonna upload a couple of pictures and stuff from after the show in this next half of the video. So all I'm just saying is, and they did also announce for WrestleMania next year, that's gonna be in Dallas, Texas at the AT&T Stadium. And me and my bros are going to be in Dallas, Texas for that event as well. We're going to make these bros trips like an annual thing. So we will be in Dallas for next year, and we're going to be in California for next year as well, because that's a dope city I want to see, because number one, there's celebrities out there. My homie CB stays out there. I think Tory Lane stay out there. I don't know. He might have stayed in Florida, because if I would have went to Orlando, I would have ran into him. But, wasn't really thinking about the opportunities right there. But obviously, you guys, that's pretty much going to count out my WrestleMania experience right there. If you want to, y'all can leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you've been to WrestleMania, if y'all seen me, please let me know. I'll holler at y'all at the next video. Let's get it.